I want you to think about the last time you truly craved something. Maybe it was a specific dessert you hadn't had in years. Maybe it was a reply to a text message that was taking just a little too long to arrive. Think about that feeling in your stomach. It wasn't just a simple desire, it was a pull, a magnetic tension. Now ask yourself, did you crave it because it was sitting right there in front of you, easily available, waiting for you to take it? Or did you crave it because there was a distance, because there was a moment where you weren't sure if you could have it? This is the uncomfortable truth about attraction that so many kind, loving women ignore. We are taught that to be loved, we must be available. We are taught that if we give and make things easy, a man will appreciate us. But biology tells a different story. The human brain, and specifically the male brain, does not crave what is easy. It does not obsess over what is guaranteed. It craves the chase. It craves the space between the lightning and the thunder. If you are watching this, it's likely because you are tired. You are tired of being the one who cares more. You are tired of being the perfect woman on paper, available, kind, responsive, only to watch the man you want chase someone who seems to care far less than you do. You feel invisible because you are too visible. But today, that changes. Today, we're going to talk about the missing ingredient. We are going to talk about the art of the tease, redefining teasing. Now, I know what you're thinking. I don't want to play games. I don't want to be manipulative. I want him to love me for me. Yeah. And I hear you, but I need you to listen closely to this distinction, because it is the difference between a toxic relationship and a magnetic one. There is a difference between playing games and creating tension. Playing games is about insecurity. It's about confusing him because you are afraid. Teasing is about confidence. Teasing is simply the art of positive tension. It is the ability to say, I like you, but I don't need you. It is the ability to invite him in, but keep the door slightly guarded. When you tease a man, you aren't being mean. You are giving him a gift. You are giving him the opportunity to win you. Men are goal-oriented creatures. When you hand yourself over on a silver platter within the first hour, you deny him the satisfaction of the pursuit. You rob him of the dopamine spike that comes from working for a reward. So, I want you to delete the old definition of teasing from your mind. We are not talking about being cruel. We are not talking about being cold. We are talking about being playful. We are talking about becoming a challenge, because a challenge is the only thing a man truly respects, and respect is the only foundation upon which deep, obsessive desire can be built. The promise of transformation. Over the next hour, we are going to go deep. This is not a list of cheap pickup lines. This is a masterclass in female magnetism. I am going to walk you through 9 specific ways to tease a man so that he literally cannot resist you. We are going to cover everything. We will start with your physical presence, how to use your eyes and your hands to create sparks without saying a word. We will move into the digital world, how to text in a way that makes his heart race every time your name pops up on his screen. And finally, we will go into the deep psychology of emotional withholding, how to make him feel like he is earning your heart piece by piece. By the time we get to way number 9, you will not just have a set of tricks. You will have a completely different aura. You will stop being the woman who waits by the phone, and you will become the woman who makes the phone ring. You will stop wondering, does he like me? And you will start deciding if you like him. This is a journey. It requires you to be brave. It requires you to be willing to pull back when your instinct is to push forward. But I promise you this, if you apply even 3 of the methods I'm about to show you, the dynamic of your relationship will flip overnight. He will stop taking you for granted, and he will start fearing the possibility of losing you. And that fear of loss, that is where his obsession begins. Are you ready to take your power back? Take a deep breath. Relax your shoulders. Let's begin with way number 101, the art of the micro rejection. The dopamine spike. Let's begin with the first and most fundamental way to tease a man. This is the foundation upon which all other techniques are built. I call it the art of the micro rejection. To understand this, we have to look at the human brain. When you give a man exactly what he wants, the moment he wants it, his brain releases a small amount of dopamine. It's the chemical of satisfaction. He asked for a date. You said yes. He texted. You replied instantly. He leaned in. You kissed him. He is satisfied. But satisfaction is the end of desire. When we are full, we stop eating. However, neuroscience tells us something fascinating about craving. The brain releases the highest amount of dopamine, not when the reward is guaranteed, but when the reward is uncertain. Think about a slot machine in a casino. If you won every single time you pulled the lever, you would get bored within 10 minutes. The machine would lose its thrill. You keep pulling the lever because you might win. It's the maybe that keeps you addicted. A micro rejection is you becoming that slot machine. It is the art of saying no in a way that implies yes, but not right now. When you constantly say yes to a man, you are telling him that he has already won the jackpot. The game is over. He can relax, and when a man relaxes too early, his eyes start to wander. But when you introduce small, playful obstacles, little moments of resistance, you create what psychologists call a prediction error in his brain. He expected you to yield, and you didn't. Suddenly, he wakes up, his focus sharpens. He thinks, wait, why didn't she give in? What do I need to do to make her give in? By denying him the immediate gratification. You aren't pushing him away. You are essentially telling his subconscious mind, pay attention. A prize that must be earned. The not yet technique. So how do we apply this in the real world? The most powerful application of the micro rejection happens during physical escalation. We have all been there. The date is going well, the chemistry is high, and he leans in. Maybe he tries to kiss you before you're ready, or maybe his hands start to wander a little too fast. The instinct for many women is to freeze. You don't want to stop him because you like him, but you aren't ready to move that fast. So you go along with it, even if you feel uncomfortable, or you do the opposite, you panic, push him away, and things get awkward. Neither of these builds desire. One kills your self-respect, the other kills the vibe. Here is the solution, the not yet technique. The next time he moves too fast, I want you to stop him physically, but encourage him visually. Place your hand gently on his chest or catch his hand with yours. Stop the movement. But, and this is critical, do not look angry. Do not look scared. Look him right in the eyes. Give him a slow, mischievous smile and whisper 2 words, not yet. Analyze what just happened. You stopped him. That is the rejection. That establishes your boundary and shows you are a woman of high value who cannot be rushed. But the smile, the softness in your voice, that is the tease. The phrase not yet is incredibly powerful because it contains a promise. It implies that yes is coming. It implies that you want to do it just as much as he does, but he hasn't earned it quite yet. This drives men wild. If you had said no, stop, he would feel rejected and defensive. But by saying not yet, you have turned the rejection into a game. You have set a hoop for him to jump through. Now, his entire mission for the rest of the night or the rest of the week is to turn that not yet into a yes. You have just become the challenge he cannot resist. Avoiding the friend zone. I know there is a fear rising up in some of you right now. But if I reject him, won't he just move on to someone easier? Won't he think I'm not interested and put me in the friend zone? This is a valid fear. But it is based on a misunderstanding of how men process rejection. Men do not leave because of boundaries. Men leave because of the cold. The friend zone happens when there is no sexual tension. If you push a man away with a frown, folded arms, and a stiff body, yes, he will leave. That signals disinterest. But remember, we are talking about teasing. The key ingredient that makes a micro-rejection work is warmth. Your body must say no while your eyes say yes. You must be laughing when you push his hand away. You must be leaning in when you tell him he can't come up to your apartment. The formula for a perfect tease is boundary till playfulness take magnetism. If you are playful, you are safe. He knows you like him. Think of a kitten playing with a string. The kitten runs away, but it looks back, it hides, but it leaves its tail visible. If you run away and lock the door, the game is over. But if you close the door slowly while maintaining eye contact until the latch clicks, that is irresistible. Do not be afraid that having standards will scare him off. The right man, the man who is capable of masculine pursuit, is not looking for easy. He is looking for worth it. By using the micro rejection, you are simply giving him the space to prove that he is willing to work for you. And trust me, he wants to work for you. DOAY2, the information gap, the bore of oversharing. Know that we have slowed down your body. We need to slow down your mouth. We move to way number 2, the information gap. One of the most common mistakes women make when they like a man is what I call the biography dump. You are nervous. You want him to know you. You want him to see how interesting, accomplished, and complex you are. So within the first 2 dates, you hand him the entire manuscript of your life. You tell him about your childhood trauma, your ex-boyfriend, your 5-year plan, and exactly why you hate your boss. You think you are building a connection, but in reality, you are killing curiosity. Here is the hard truth. Men do not fall in love with a woman they fully understand in the first hour. They fall in love with the mystery of a woman they are still trying to figure out. Attraction requires a vacuum. It requires a blank space that his mind feels compelled to fill. If you are an open book, there is no reason for him to read the sequel. He already knows the ending. When you overshare, you remove the information gap. You make yourself a known quantity. And known quantities are comfortable, but they are not exciting. Teasing is not just physical, it is intellectual. It is the ability to withhold information so that he has to ask for it. It is the confidence to sit in silence and let him wonder what you are thinking, rather than rushing to tell him. If you want him to obsess over you, you must leave him with questions, not answers. You want him driving home thinking, who is she really? Rather than, well, I know everything about her. Stop giving away your secrets for free and answering with ambiguity. So how do we create this information gap in a regular conversation? You don't want to be secretive in a weird, shady way. You want to be secretive in a playful way. This brings us to the ellipsis technique. When he asks you a direct question, your instinct is to give a direct, factual answer. He asks, so what kind of trouble did you get into this weekend? You say, oh, I just went to brunch and did some laundry. Boring. The conversation dies. The tension is gone. Instead, I want you to answer with ambiguity. I want you to answer with a ... Imagine he asks that same question, what did you do this weekend? You look at him, take a slow sip of your drink, smile and say, I could tell you, but then I'd have to swear you to secrecy, or simply let's just say it was memorable. Do you see the difference? You haven't lied, you haven't been rude, but you have teased him. You have created a massive gap in his knowledge. Now his brain is racing. What did she do? Was she with someone? Is she wilder than I thought? He has to know. He will now ask follow-up questions. He will chase the answer. You can do this with almost anything. If he asks, what are you looking for in a man? Don't give him your checklist. Say, I'm looking for someone who can keep up. Do you think you can? This is the essence of verbal teasing. You are dangling the carrot. You are giving him a hint, a flavor, a scent of the truth, but you're making him work to get the full story. This positions you as the authority. You hold the keys to the information. He is the one knocking at the door, and the longer you keep him knocking playfully, the more he wants to come inside. Section 3A, the to be continued. Hook. Finally, we have the most powerful way to use the information gap, the to be continued hook. Think about your favorite Netflix series. When does the episode end? Does it end when everything is resolved, everyone is safe, and the story is boring? No, it cuts to black right at the most exciting moment, right when the secret is about to be revealed. Why? Because the writers know that if they cut the story at the peak, you will be unable to sleep until you watch the next episode. You need to become the showrunner of your dating life. Most women wait for the conversation to die down before they say goodbye. They wait until there is an awkward silence and then say, well, I guess I should go. This leaves a lingering feeling of boredom. I want you to try something scary. I want you to end the interaction, whether it's a date, a phone call, or a text thread, when it is at its absolute highest point, when you are both laughing hysterically, when the flirting is intense, when he just asked you a juicy question. That is the moment you check the time and say, oh my gosh, I have to run. But remind me to tell you the rest of that story later. It gets even crazier, and then you go. This is a masterstroke of psychological teasing. You have triggered what psychologists call the Zeigarnik effect. The human brain remembers incomplete tasks far better than completed ones. Because you didn't finish the story, his brain cannot close the file on you. He will spend the next day replaying the conversation, wondering what you were going to say. You will literally haunt his thoughts. He won't just want to see you again. He will feel a psychological compulsion to see you again. You have hooked him. Boy 3, the sensory ghost, scent and memory. We have covered the mind and we have covered the conversation. Now we must descend deeper. We must enter the subconscious. This brings us to way number 3. The sensory ghost is the ability to tease a man when you are not even in the room. It is the art of leaving a trace of your essence so that he cannot escape thoughts of you, even if he tries. And the most powerful tool for this is scent. Science tells us that the olfactory bulb, the part of the brain that processes smell, is directly connected to the amygdala and the hippocampus. These are the centers of emotion and memory. Visuals fade, words are forgotten, but a scent creates an immediate visceral flashback To tease a man with scent, you must be strategic. It is not enough to simply smell good at the date. You must transfer that scent to him. Here is the trick. When you hug him goodbye, linger for an extra second. Press your neck or your hair against his jacket. If you are in his car, leave your scarf on the seat for just a minute while you run into a store, ensuring the fabric infused with your perfume touches his upholstery. You want to brand his environment. Later that night, when he takes off his jacket, or the next morning when he gets into his car, he will be hit with a wave of you. It will stop him in his tracks. He will suddenly feel your presence. He will imagine your neck. He will remember the way you felt in his arms. This is a phantom tease. You are miles away, sleeping in your own bed, but his brain is lighting up with desire for you. You have effectively haunted him, the accidental touch. Now let's talk about when you are in the room. Many women are terrified of initiating touch because they are afraid of looking desperate. They wait for the man to make the first move, but waiting is passive. A magnetic woman is active. The secret to touching a man without looking easy is the accidental touch. This is the graze. Brush, the fleeting contact that is so subtle, he can't be 100% sure you meant to do it. It creates plausible deniability. If you grab his hand, that is a statement. But if you reach across the table for the salt and your forearm accidentally slides against his, that is a question. It sends an electric shock through his nervous system. His skin receptors fire. He creates a sudden awareness of your physical proximity. But because you didn't grab him, you pull away. You apologize with a smile. Oh, sorry, but your eyes say, I'm not sorry at all. Use this when you are walking side by side. Let your shoulder bump his. Use this when you are laughing. Lightly tap his knee with your hand for a split second, then retract it immediately. The retraction is the tease. If you leave your hand on his knee, the tension dissolves. It becomes comfortable. But if you touch him and then take it away, his body screams for the contact to return. He will spend the rest of the date trying to recreate that feeling. He will start leaning closer. He will start looking for excuses to touch you back. You have lit the fuse, and now you can sit back and watch the fireworks. You have invited him into your personal space, but you haven't given him the key to the door yet. Visual imprinting. Finally, to complete the sensory ghost, we must look at visual imprinting. Men are visual creatures, yes, but the most powerful visual tease is not just showing skin, it is showing texture. You want to wear things that beg to be touched. Think about the difference between a stiff cotton shirt and a slip dress made of silk, or a soft fluffy Angora sweater, or smooth velvet. When he sees these textures, his brain automatically simulates what it would feel like to run his hands over them. This is a subconscious tease. You are standing 3 feet away from him, but his mind is already touching you. Combine this with the look but don't touch rule. Wear the silk. Let it drape over your body. Let him see how it moves like water against your skin. Keep your physical distance. Sit just out of reach. This creates a maddening dissonance in his brain. His eyes see softness. His brain imagines the tactile sensation. But his hands are empty. This gap between what he sees and what he can reach is the definition of desire. Don't just dress to look hot. Dress to look touchable. Dress in a way that makes his fingers twitch. When you combine a lingering scent, a fleeting accidental touch, and a texture that screams softness, you become a sensory overload. You become a 3D experience that flat images on Instagram cannot compete with. You become real, and because you are real but slightly out of reach, you become the only thing he wants. Bobby Wine 4, the digital push-pull, the rhythm of absence. We live in a world where we are connected 24/7, and because of this, most women have developed a fatal habit, the instant reply. He texts, you see it, you feel that rush of adrenaline, you text back immediately. You think you are keeping the conversation flowing, you think you are being attentive, but what you are actually doing is killing the tension. This brings us to way number 4, the digital push-pull. Your availability is your currency. When you reply instantly every single time, you are devaluing that currency. You are telling him unconsciously, I am sitting here waiting for you. I have nothing better to do than this. Predictability is the death of passion. If he knows exactly when you will reply, he stops checking his phone, he stops wondering about you. I want you to adopt the rhythm of absence. This is based on the psychological concept of variable ratio reinforcement. It's the same psychology used in gambling. Sometimes you reply in 5 minutes, sometimes you reply in 3 hours, Sometimes if it's late, you don't reply until the next morning. This unpredictability drives the male brain crazy in the best way possible. When you take 3 hours to reply, his mind starts to spin. Is she busy? Is she out? Who is she with? Did I say something boring? He starts to check his phone, not because you texted, but because you didn't. You are forcing him to invest mental energy into you. By the time your text finally arrives, the dopamine reward is 10 times higher because he had to wait for it. Stop being a vending machine that dispenses attention on demand. Be a treasure that he has to dig for. The red receipt power play. Now, let's escalate. There is a feature on your phone that most women are terrified of, but I want you to weaponize it. The red receipt. Many dating coaches tell you to turn your read receipts off to remain mysterious. I disagree. I think you should leave them on and use them strategically. The most powerful digital tease is letting him know you saw his message and choosing not to reply yet. This is the red receipt power play. Imagine you are texting back and forth. The banner is good. He sends a joke or a flirtatious comment. You open it. The red notification appears on his screen. And then you put the phone down. You go make dinner. You go to the gym. You live your life. For him, this is psychological torture. He sees that you are there. He knows you got the message. The silence that follows is deafening. His ego takes a hit. Why isn't she laughing? Was it not funny? Is she ignoring me? He feels a sudden sharp spike of insecurity. He realizes that he does not have your full attention wrapped around his finger. But, and this is the key to the push-pull, you must come back later with warmth. 2 hours later, you reply, "How that actually made me laugh out loud. Sorry, got caught up in something." The relief he feels when you finally reply acts as a massive bonding agent. He went from fear to relief. If you were just cold and never replied, he would leave. But because you came back with warmth, he feels like he won you back. This roller coaster of emotions makes you addicted. It teaches him that your attention is a privilege, not a right. And trust me, he will work much harder to keep that attention next time. Visual texting. Finally, we need to talk about the medium itself. Texting is dry. It is intellectual. It is just words on a screen. If you want to tease a man, you need to stimulate his imagination. You need to stop telling him what you are doing and start showing him. This is visual texting. The next time he asks, "What are you up to?" do not type out, "I'm just having a drink at this new bar downtown. That is boring." That gives him all the information. Instead, send a photo, a picture of your hand holding a glass of wine with the blurry lights of the bar in the background. And here is the secret: do not add a caption. Send the photo alone. This is a visual puzzle. He has to look at the image. He has to analyze it. Where is she? Is that a second glass across from her? Who is she with? Is she on a date? He cannot simply read and file it away. He has to engage. He will be forced to text back, "Looks nice." Where is that? Or who are you with? You have forced him to chase you for context. You can do this with anything. A picture of your outfit laid out on the bed, a picture of the view from your balcony. Visuals are intimate. They give him a glimpse into your reality, but because they are static images, hide as much as they reveal. A magnetic woman understands that a picture is worth 1,000 words, especially if those 1,000 words are questions running through his mind about you. Way Y5, the triangular gaze, the eyes as weapons. We have mastered the phone. Now we must master the face. This brings us to way number 5, the triangular gaze. But before we can learn the technique, we must address the weapon itself, your eyes. Most women underestimate the sheer power of eye contact. In the animal kingdom and in human psychology, prolonged eye contact signals one of two things: a threat or desire. When you are on a date and you feel shy, your instinct is to look down. You look at your drink. You look at the menu. You break the tension because the tension feels too heavy. By doing this, you are subconsciously signaling submission. You are telling him, "You are too much for me to handle." If you want to tease a man, you must override this instinct. You must become comfortable with the silence of the gaze. The tease lies in the challenge. When you hold his gaze just a second longer than is socially polite, you are issuing a silent dare. You are stripping away the social pleasantries and getting straight to the biological core. You are saying, "I see you and I am not afraid of you." This requires practice. The next time you are with him, when there is a lull in the conversation, do not look away. Keep your eyes locked on his. Relax your face. Do not stare like a deer in headlights. Soften your lids. Watch him squirm. Watch him try to figure out what you are thinking. He will likely look away first, or he will laugh nervously, or he will lean in. Whatever he does, you have won. You have established that you are the one holding the frame. You have turned a boring silence into an electric charge. The triangle technique explained. Now that you are holding his gaze, what do you do with it? You don't want to just stare into his soul until it gets creepy. You want to activate his desire. To do this, we use a specific geometric pattern known to psychologists and seduction experts as the triangular gaze. Here is exactly how to do it. Imagine an inverted triangle drawn on his face. The two top points are his eyes. The bottom point is his mouth. While he is talking to you, or while you are listening to him in silence, I want you to trace this triangle with your eyes. Step 1, look into one of his eyes for about 3 seconds. Step 2, shift your gaze to his other eye for 3 seconds. This establishes a connection. It says, I am listening. Step 3, drop your gaze down to his lips. Hold it there for only 1.5 seconds. Step 4, snap your eyes back up to his eyes and smile slightly. This sequence is devastatingly effective because of what it communicates to his subconscious mind. When you look at his eyes, you are engaging his intellect. When you drop your gaze to his lips, you are engaging his instinct. You are visually signaling that you are thinking about kissing him. You are drawing his attention to his own mouth. He will feel a phantom sensation on his lips. He will suddenly wonder, does she want to kiss me right now? But, and this is the tease, you look back up. You don't lean in. You don't kiss him. You return to the safety of eye contact. You took him to the edge of the cliff, let him look down, and then pulled him back. He is now left with the lingering thought of the kiss without the satisfaction of the kiss itself. Do this 2 or 3 times during a date, and I guarantee you, he will not hear a single word you are saying. He will only be thinking about how to close that distance. The scanning tease, there is one more way to use your eyes to tease him, and this one is purely about dominance. I call it the scan. Sometimes a man gets too comfortable. He is talking about work or politics or himself. He is in his logical brain. He is safe. You want to pull him out of his logical brain and drop him into his body. You do this by scanning him while he is mid-sentence. I want you to slowly detach your eyes from his. Trace a line down his neck. Look at his shoulders. Look at his hands. Look at his chest. Then slowly drag your eyes back up to meet his. And here is the crucial part: smirk. Just a tiny, barely there smile, like you know a secret, like you are undressing him with your mind, or perhaps judging him playfully. This move is a pattern interrupt. He will notice your eyes moving. He will see you looking at his body. Suddenly, he becomes self-conscious. Why is she looking at my hands? Is she checking me out? Is my shirt undone? He will likely stutter. He might lose his train of thought. He might ask, what? What are you looking at? That is the moment you have him. You simply shrug and say nothing. Just looking, you have successfully teased him by making him the object of your observation. You have shifted the dynamic from him talking to you listening, to you observing, to him performing. It is a subtle power play that reminds him that even when he is speaking, you are the one watching the show, and he will work harder to make sure you like what you see. WY6, the auditory anchor, the volume drop. We have used our eyes, we have used our hands. Now, we must use our instrument, the voice. This brings us to way number 6, the auditory anchor. Many women, when they are nervous, tend to go up in pitch and up in volume. They laugh loudly. They speak fast. They try to project their voice to be heard over the noise of the bar or the restaurant. This is natural, but it is not seductive. Loudness is for friendships. Loudness is for crowds. Intimacy lives in the quiet. I want to teach you a technique called the volume drop. The next time you are in a conversation with him, especially if it is in a crowded, a noisy place, I want you to do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. Instead of raising your voice to be heard, I want you to drop your voice to a near whisper. Why is this a tease? Because of physics. When you whisper, you create a vacuum. He literally cannot hear you from where he is sitting. He has no choice but to change his physical position. He has to lean in. He has to bring his ear closer to your mouth. He has to invade your personal space just to get the information. You have now forced him to enter your bubble. And once he is there, close to you, the sound of your voice changes. It stops being just information and starts being a vibration. A whisper hits the ear differently than a shout. It feels like a secret. It feels like something forbidden. By simply lowering your volume, you have turned a public conversation into a private conspiracy. You have teased him with the possibility that what you are saying is for his ears and his ears alone. The power of his name while you are down there whispering in his ear. What specific words should you be using? Many women default to pet names too early. They call him babe honey or sweetie. While this is affectionate, it is generic. You could call anyone babe, If you want to tease a man to his core, you must use the most powerful sound in the world to him, his name. Psychologists call this the cocktail party effect. You can be in a room with 100 people talking, but if someone says your name across the room, your brain snaps to attention. Your name is tied to your identity. It is the audio code for me, but don't just say his name. Use his name. There is a way to say a man's name that is purely functional past the salt David. And then there is the way that is a tease. I want you to isolate his name, put a pause before it and a pause after it. When he makes a joke, don't just laugh. Look at him, shake your head and say, David, you are dangerous. Say it slowly. I almost tasted it. When you say his name with that specific slow intonation, it feels like you are savoring him. It signals ownership, signals that you see him not just as a man, but as this specific man. This is incredibly grounding for him, but also incredibly destabilizing. He is used to people using his name to ask for things. He is not used to a woman using his name to caress him verbally. Test this out. In the middle of a silence, just say his name softly. He will look up and say, what? You just smile and say nothing. I just like the way it sounds. That is a tease that will ring in his ears for days. The silent laugh. Finally, we have the most subtle auditory tease of all. It isn't a word. It isn't a whisper. It is called the silent laugh. A loud, booming laugh is great for showing you are having a good time. But a loud laugh is public property. Everyone can share in it. A silent laugh is exclusive. Imagine you are at a party or with a group of friends. Someone says something stupid or something happens that only the two of you notice catch his eye, but do not laugh out loud. Instead, suppress it. Bite your lip. Let out a short, breathy exhale through your nose. Look down, then look back up at him with sparkling eyes. This sound, that sharp intake of breath or that soft giggle, is a powerful communication tool. It says, we share a secret. It says we're on the same wavelength and no one else here gets it. By suppressing the laugh, you are teasing him with your self-control. You are showing that you could lose it, but you are keeping it contained just for him. This creates an instant use vis the world bubble. Even in a crowded room, that silent auditory cue builds a wall around the two of you. He feels like your partner in crime. And once a man feels like your partner in crime, he starts to wonder what other crimes, what other secrets you two could get up to when the crowd disappears. Way Y7, the false disqualification, the concept of qualifiers, will have covered how to move, how to look, and how to speak. Now, we must change what you actually say. This brings us to way number 7, the false disqualification. To understand this, we have to look at the typical dynamic of a first date. For most women, it feels like a job interview. You are the applicant. He is the boss. You sit there trying to prove that you are smart, that you are funny, that you are low maintenance. You are essentially saying, please hire me. Please choose me. When you do this, you kill the chase. You cannot tease a man if you are begging for his approval. We need to flip the table. The false disqualification is a psychological technique where you playfully suggest that he is the one who isn't quite making the cut. You are disqualifying him as a potential partner, but you are doing it in a way that is obviously a joke. Why is this so effective? Because men are competitive. If you say, I like you, you're great, he thinks, okay, cool, I have her. But if you said, I don't know if we'd get along, you seem a little too well behaved for me, his ego takes a hit. His brain instantly screams, I'm not well behaved. I can be wild. I'll show her. You have just challenged his identity. By momentarily pushing him away, you force him to chase after you to prove you wrong. You stop being the applicant and you become the selector. You are the one holding the hoop and he is the one jumping through it. This shifts the power dynamic instantly. He is no longer evaluating you. He is too busy trying to convince you that he is good enough for you. Playful, bratty banter. So how do you do this without sounding like you are actually rejecting him? You have to channel your inner brat. A brat is playful. She is mischievous. She disagrees with him just for the fun of it. Friction creates sparks. If you agree with everything he says, the conversation is smooth, but it is flat. You want bumps in the road. Here are 3 specific false disqualification lines you can use on your next datey. Line number 1, the trouble frame. When he smiles at you or suggests a plan, look at him suspiciously and say, I can already tell you are going to be trouble for me. This is a massive compliment disguised as a warning. It tells him you find him attractive, but you aren't sure if you should trust him. He will love being called trouble. Line number 2, incompatibility tease. If he says he likes a different movie or food than you, don't just say, oh, that's nice, sigh dramatically, and say, oh no, we were getting along so well. I guess I have to break up with you now. It's absurd, it's funny, but it reinforces the idea that you are the prize that can be taken away. Line number 3, the capacity challenge. This is the strongest one. Use it when the energy is high. Look him in the eyes and say, I don't think you can handle me. This is a direct challenge to his masculinity. No man on earth will hear that and say, yeah, you're probably right. He will make it his mission for the rest of the night to prove that he can handle you. These lines work because they are false. You are still sitting there. You are still smiling. But verbally, you are pushing him away. This push-pull dynamic is the heartbeat of flirting. It keeps him on his toes, wondering if he is winning or losing, which keeps him 100% focused on you. The safety net, I must give you a warning here. The false disqualification is a sharp tool. If you use it incorrectly, you will cut the connection. The difference between a tease and an insult is entirely in your delivery. If you say, I don't think we'd get along, with a flat face, a cold voice, and crossed arms, that is a rejection. He will feel hurt and he will leave. You must use the safety net. The safety net is your non-verbal warmth. When you deliver these lines, you must be smiling, your eyes must be sparkling, your body language should be open. Even if your words are closing the door, you have to signal to his subconscious, I am just playing with you. Think of it like a puppy biting your hand. It hurts a little, but the tail is wagging, so you know it's a game. If you're going to use the bratty words, you must pair them with sweet eyes. Touch his arm while you say it, laugh after you deliver the line. This combination, verbal rejection, physical acceptance, is confusing in the most addictive way. It makes him feel safe enough to stay, but challenge enough to chase. If you are naturally a very sarcastic person, dial it back. Make sure your smile is bigger than your words. If you are naturally a very shy person, this is perfect for you, because your natural sweetness will soften the blow of the words, making you seem surprisingly spicy. Remember, the goal is to poke his ego, not to bruise it. Duay the physical retreat, the vacuum effect. We are nearing the end of our list, which means we must talk about endings. One of the biggest killers of sexual tension is duration. Many women, when they are having a great time, try to stretch the moment out as long as possible. The date was supposed to end at 10 p.m. but you stay until midnight. The conversation slows down, the yawns start, the energy flatlines, you leave when the tank is empty. To tease a man effectively, you must master way number 8, the physical retreat. Specifically, I want you to use the vacuum effect. This is a show business rule, always leave them wanting more. You need to become comfortable with leaving the interaction while the energy is still at its absolute peak. Leave when you are both laughing. Leave when he just leaned in to touch you. Leave when the chemistry is 10/10. It feels counterintuitive. Your body wants to stay, but if you stay until the energy drops, he goes home feeling satisfied and tired. If you leave when the energy is high, you create a vacuum. He goes home buzzing. He is full of adrenaline, but denied the conclusion. He will sit on his couch staring at the wall, replaying the last 10 minutes, thinking, why did she leave? I wasn't done with her. That vacuum pulls him in. It forces him to reach out to you immediately to get that feeling back. Next time you're on a date, set a hard exit time in your head. When you hit that time, even if you are having the time of your life, stand up, smile and say, this was amazing, but I have to get going, walk away. Do not turn back. The space you leave behind is where his obsession grows. Body language of indifference. The physical retreat isn't just about walking out the door. It is also about how you sit in the chair. We need to talk about your body orientation. When a woman is insecure or trying too hard to please, she tends to front face the man completely. Shoulders squared, knees pointed at him, leaning forward. This is golden retriever energy. It is cute, but it is not teasing. It says, I am 100%, you have my full attention. A tease requires a challenge. I want you to practice the body language of indifference. This doesn't mean ignoring him. It means engaging with him from an angle. Sit with your legs crossed away from him. Turn your torso slightly toward the room, so you have to turn your head to look at him. Lean back in your chair, exposing your neck rather than leaning forward into his space. Why is this a tease? Because you are physically withholding a part of yourself. You are giving him your eyes and your words, but your body is doing its own thing. This triggers a subconscious desire in him to align you. He will instinctually want to pull your focus back to him. He will lean in. He will try to touch your arm to get you to turn around fully. You can also use the check while he is telling a story. Look down at your watch or your bracelet for a split second, then look back up. It is a tiny retreat. It signals, I am listening. But my time is valuable. It keeps him on edge. It reminds him that you are not a statue placed there for his entertainment. You are a moving, living woman who could get up and leave at any moment. And because he feels that slight threat of you leaving, he will work twice as hard to make you stay. The boozy. Tease. Finally, the ultimate physical retreat is simply not being available. This is the boozy tease. In the early stages of dating, men often test your availability. He might text you on a Thursday afternoon asking to see you that night. If you say yes, you are rewarding his lack of planning. You are telling him, my life is empty enough that you can fill it at the last minute. The tease is to say no, but with a promise. I'd love to see you, but I actually have plans tonight. I'm completely booked until Sunday. Can you handle waiting that long? This does three things. It validates him. You said, I'd love to see you, so he knows you are interested. It raises your value. You are a woman with a life, friends, and priorities. High value things are rarely available instantly. It creates anticipation. He now has to wait 3 days to see you. During those 3 days, his desire will build. He will wonder what you are doing. He will realize he has to compete for your time. The tease is the gap between his impulse to see you and the reality of seeing you. Do not be afraid. If you're not always available, you are like a convenience store, open 24/7. Convenient, but not special. Be a luxury boutique, open by appointment only. When he finally gets that appointment, he will treat the time as precious because you taught him that it is. WY9, the emotional cliffhanger. Vulnerability as a tease. We have arrived at the final way to tease a man. We have teased his eyes, his ears, and his ego. Now, we tease his heart. This is way number 9, the emotional cliffhanger. Most women treat vulnerability as an all or nothing game. Either you are a stone wall, letting nothing out, or you are a floodgate, letting everything out. Neither of these creates obsession. The wall makes him give up. The flood makes him drown. The tease is the window. You want to show him a glimpse of your soul, a deep fear, childhood memory, a raw emotion, and then just as he leans in to comfort you or understand you, you pull back and return to being the fun, confident woman. Here is how you do it in the middle of a deep conversation. Drop a piece of truth. I act tough, but I'm actually terrified of being forgotten. Look at him. Let the weight of that statement hang in the air. Let him see the sadness in your eyes. He will feel a massive surge of protective instinct. He will want to hold you. He feels special because you let him in, but before he can solve it for you, you smile, shake your head, and say, anyway, that's enough heavy stuff. Pass the wine. You have just created an emotional cliffhanger. You opened the door to your inner world, let him peek inside, and then gently closed it. He is left standing outside, wondering what else is in there. He feels honored that he saw it, but frustrated that he didn't get to see all of it. This drives him crazy. He wants to be the one man who gets to keep that door open. He will now pursue you not just for your body, but for the privilege of knowing your secrets. Withholding validation. Let's talk about the economy of validation. Men are desperate for approval. They want to be the hero. They want to be told they are smart, funny, and strong. Because of this, many women fall into the trap of being the cheerleader. You laugh at every joke. Oh, you say whoa to every story. You tell him he looks great every time you see him. You think you are building his confidence, but actually you are creating inflation. When you print too much money, the value of the currency drops to zero. When you give too many compliments, your validation becomes worthless. If you think everything he does is amazing, then nothing he does is special. The tease is to withhold your validation until he truly earns it. Be a critic. Be hard to impress. When he tells a joke that isn't funny, don't laugh. Just look at him with a smirk. When he wears a shirt that is just okay, don't say anything. But then when he actually does something impressive, when he plans a perfect date or fixes something in your house or says something brilliant, that is when you hit him with the high value praise. Look him in the eyes and say, okay, I'm actually impressed. You did good. Do you hear the difference? You did good implies that he could have done bad. It implies that you have standards. Because you don't give it away for free, that one compliment will mean more to him than 1,000 "you're so hot" texts from other women. He will become addicted to earning that nod of approval from you. He will start trying harder. He will start dressing better. He will start planning better dates. Why? Because he wants to win the game, and you have finally made the game worth playing. The ultimate tease happiness without him we have reached the end. The final secret, this is the ultimate tease. It is the one thing that triggers a man's chase instinct more than anything else in the world. Way number 9 is radiant happiness without him. Men are conditioned to believe that they are the prize. They believe that a woman needs a man to be complete. When you are sitting around waiting for him, looking sad when he leaves, or needing him to make you smile, you are confirming his worldview. You are safe. You are conquered. But when a man sees a woman who is radiantly, genuinely happy without him, it terrifies him. It threatens his ego in the most powerful way. He looks at you living your life, laughing with your friends, passionate about your hobbies, glowing with self-love, and he thinks, she doesn't need me. She is happy already. This is the ultimate challenge. He wants to be the source of your happiness. He wants to be the reason you glow. If you are glowing on your own, he feels a desperate need to insert himself into your picture. He wants to capture that light. So the greatest tease you can ever perform is simply to love your own life. Post the photo where you look ecstatic alone. Go on the trip without him. Don't fake it. Live it. When he realizes that your world is a beautiful party that is happening with or without him, he will do absolutely anything to get an invitation. He won't just want to date you. He will want to anchor himself to you because being around you feels like standing in the sun. And that, my dear, is how you become irresistible. From tactic to nature integration, we have covered a lot of ground today. We have traveled from the micro movements of your eyes to the deep psychology of your soul. And right now, you might be feeling a little overwhelmed. You might be thinking, how am I supposed to remember all of this? Do I have to count seconds before I text? Do I have to constantly watch my body language? Take a deep breath. The goal of this video is not to turn you into a robot. It is not to give you a script that you have to memorize and perform perfectly. If you try to do all 9 of these things at once, you will look calculated, you will look stiff. And stiffness is the opposite of magnetism. My advice to you is this: pick one, just one. Maybe this week, you focus entirely on the triangular gaze. Master the art of the eyes. Maybe next week, you focus on the digital push-pull. Let these techniques slowly seep into your behavior until they stop being tactics and start becoming your nature. True magnetism happens when you stop thinking about what to do and you simply allow yourself to be the woman who knows her worth. These tools are just training wheels to help you find that balance, the responsibility of power. I also need to leave you with a warning. What I have taught you today is powerful. These are not just flirting tips, they are psychological triggers that hack the male biological drive. When you apply these correctly, you will see a shift. Men who used to ignore you will start chasing you. Men who are lukewarm will become intense. With that power comes a responsibility. Do not use these tools to break hearts for sport. Do not use the micro rejection or the emotional cliffhanger just to feed your own ego or to make a man suffer because you are angry at your ex. That is not the behavior of a high value woman. That is the behavior of a wounded girl. Use these secrets to build bridges, not traps. Use the tease to wake him up, to show him the potential of what you could be together. Use the tension to create a spark that can light a fire of genuine love. The goal is not to control him. The goal is to invite him to step up. You are teasing him because you believe he is man enough to catch you. Never forget that. Now, I want to hear from you. We talked about 9 distinct ways to tease a man, from the micro rejection to the sensory ghost, all the way to the ultimate tease of happiness. I want you to be brave and tell me in the comments below which one of these scares you the most. Is it eye contact? Is it the silence? Is it the fear of saying no? Usually, the technique that scares you the most is the exact one you need to use to break your old patterns. Let me know down below. I read every single comment. If you found value in this video, if you feel a little more powerful than you did 20 minutes ago, please like this video. It helps this message reach other women who are tired of settling for less. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. We are building a community of women who are rewriting the rules of modern love. And I don't want you to miss the next lesson. For your next step, I want you to watch this video right here. The 5 signs he is falling in love with you. Once you master the tease, you need to know how to spot the results. Go out there, be mysterious, be magnetic, and I will see you in the next video.